Hi, I'm Michael Mezmer, and I'm a clinical hypnotherapist. I'm also a certified stress management consultant, and for the past 8 years, I've been a consultant to the Unger Concierge Medical Center in Rancho Cucamonga, California. I'm so excited to be here for this event today because it's going to be fantastic. Recently, in my hypnotherapy work, I've been specifically focusing on mental health issues that have come from the COVID situation and the pandemic. So many people are suffering right now, and hypnotherapy is an amazing tool to help people with that. And we'll be discussing that a little bit throughout this demonstration and this presentation. So what we're going to focus on today is one of the main issues from the pandemic, which is stress. There are 3 main issues, actually. It's stress, and then sleep disorders, and then weight control / confidence issues. So in my CovidNosis program, I deal with all 3 of those. But we only have about 30 minutes today, so we're going to be focusing primarily on the stress issue and how hypnosis works and how it can work for you. So that's what this presentation is all about. Now, the pandemic has caused what they call depths of despair in people. And suicide rate is up higher than it's ever been. It's jumped up immediately. And so that's why hypnotherapy, and in this particular CovidNosis hypnotherapy, is a powerful tool for that. Now, I want to explain to you how hypnosis works because a lot of people really don't understand it. Maybe you've seen it in a novel or in a comic book even, or a movie, like something like that recent film Get Out, which was kind of a horror flick. And really, natural hypnosis is nothing like what you see in the movies or read about in novels. Natural hypnosis is one of those things where nobody controls you. You're learning how to control your own mind, and in doing so, make your life more happy, prosperous, and successful. So let me explain to you a little bit about how this works. When we're young, about age 1 to 7, and maybe a little bit beyond that, everything that we hear or see or experience is accepted uncritically in our subconscious minds. You see, at that point, we have no way of putting a block there to keep that information out. So imagine this is the subconscious mind and this is the conscious mind, okay? Well, before age 7, that's not there. So everything goes in, but it doesn't come back out. In fact, not only does it not come back out, but it continues to play like a broken record for the rest of our lives. So here's an example. Think about a young person, boy or girl, sitting in the back of their car of their mom or dad. They're driving along and they're singing a song and they're really happy. But then it's a bad day for the mom or dad, or they're just not nice people perhaps, and they turn around and say, "Hey, cut out that noise." And then as a child, you accept that from a person that you look up to, that you believe is of importance to you. And from then on, from the rest of your life, even though you would like to sing because you've always dreamed of doing it, there's something holding you back. Or you just feel like you can't sing, that you don't have that ability. Well, with hypnosis, I'm able to go in and take that conscious part of the mind and have it step aside, or the critical part of the mind. We call it the critical factor in hypnosis. And then I can access the subconscious and help you to reprogram that in a different framework, so it no longer affects you the same way it did as a child. So that's how hypnosis kind of works, the subconscious, the conscious mind, all of that. That's how it works. Now, a lot of people ask me, can I be hypnotized, or can anybody be hypnotized, or does hypnosis work for everybody, or hypnotherapy? The answer absolutely is yes. Everyone can experience some level of hypnosis, and on that level can find some relief. There are some people that are what we call natural somnambulists. Now, those people, well, they can go into hypnosis on the snap of a finger. And then most people, like you or I or others, we take a little bit more love and care to get into hypnosis and to work with it. Ultimately, though, it doesn't matter what level you get to. It's just a matter of accessing that subconscious in some way and helping to make a positive reprogramming of the negatives that are in it. And that way, we move ahead with our life in a positive way. So my answer is that everyone can be hypnotized. Everyone. Now, I will say that with various different cultures around the world, for instance, I've worked a lot with Asian culture, everybody's minds are programmed slightly different based on their culture. For instance, the Asian culture thinks about numbers, and in a different framework than we do at looking at life and how life functions. So you have to use different hypnotherapy techniques for each culture, each person, actually, each individual. It comes down to, honestly, you have to use different techniques. And that's where a good hypnotherapist comes into play and is able to do that. People often wonder, how quickly can you be hypnotized? Well, it depends on the person naturally, but honestly, I do what's called an instant induction or a rapid induction in addition to my fractional relaxation. Now, the instant induction happens in a blink of an eye. It really does. It's quite amazing. And in a minute, I'm going to share with you a video of me demonstrating that particular induction method so that you'll be able to see just how amazing and how quickly it works. But also there's the fractional relaxation, and that's one that I use with many people. And the reason I use that one is more relaxing, the benefits are more long-lasting, and it's just more, it's more beneficial to both the patient and myself. And that's what we use lullaby phrasing in. Now, lullaby phrasing is very much like when you were little. If your mom or dad read you a story when you went to bed, they did it sort of in a lullaby phrase, right, as a baby or as a child. And we use those same types of phrasings and pacings with the fractional induction. The induction is, of course, the part where we do the hypnosis and place the person into trance. Now, when I say place someone into trance, a lot of people always say with hypnosis, something negative, like a pejorative. And so what I always say is you're not out of control. You're put into a state of relaxation, a natural, God-given state of relaxation. You see, we all have hypnosis in us. We do it all the time. For instance, how many times have you been riding down a highway and you're going somewhere you know really well, and it doesn't have to be a long drive, but even on a long drive, all of a sudden you'll get to your destination and you'll say, wow, how did I get here so quickly? That's natural hypnosis. That's self-hypnosis. And I should say, all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. You see, I don't hypnotize anyone. I know that's a strange statement, being I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, but I don't hypnotize anyone. What I do is I help the patient or client hypnotize themselves, because all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. And that's why you're doing the hypnosis. That's why you're in control. And that's why you're becoming more powerful in doing the hypnosis, self-hypnosis, I should say. Now, there are other forms. For instance, in Russia, where they use truth serum and hypnotic drugs along with hypnosis techniques, yes, you lose control. But natural hypnosis, the hypnotherapy that I would give you or any other hypnotherapist would give you, no, you never lose control of your mind. In fact, most people actually remember everything that happens during a session. It's just that you feel so good as you're doing it that you want it to continue and continue, because it naturally relaxes your nervous system in a very special way that you normally can't access. So that's a little bit about how hypnosis works, how it can work for you. And yes, you can learn how to do it. It's a skill. Some people will do it immediately, the first time they come in for a session. Other people take a little bit of practice. In life, to get anything good, to achieve anything that we want to achieve, oftentimes we need to practice. So sometimes certain people need that practice time. That's why during my sessions, I always end up at the end as an extra present, giving one of my audio self-hypnosis experiences to people. That way they go home between sessions and they practice the hypnosis. So they become better and better at doing it, and therefore the therapy I give them becomes more powerful and more powerful. So that's how hypnosis works. You're in control, you learn to do it, and as a matter of fact, when you're done with the hypnotherapist, you'll be able to do this skill for the rest of your life. So it always comes in very, very handy in times of stress or difficulty, because you can always fall back on it and do it anytime you choose. People always say to me, is it like psychology or psychotherapists or whatever when you come to a hypnotherapist? No. And I'll tell you the big difference. If a hypnotherapist is effective with you, they should be able to deal with whatever issues you need dealt with in a very short time, 3 or 4 sessions. That's why my CovidNosis program, I have 4 sessions. The first one so I get to know you, then the next 3 deal with the issues we discussed earlier. Because you really shouldn't have to have more than that number of sessions to have success. And so that's what I'm discussing here, because a lot of people misunderstand it and think, oh, I'm going to have to go to a hypnotherapist for years. No, it doesn't work that way. It either works rapidly or you need to move on to another style of therapy, another modality of therapy. So that's hypnotherapy in a nutshell. Now, as I mentioned, I wanted you to see how I do my rapid or instantaneous induction. So that's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to break away from this. Now, I am the immediate past president of the American Council of Hypnotist Examiners. We are an international organization that licenses practicing hypnotists all around the world. We also have an educational level that's very, very challenging to achieve. And so all of the people that are actually members of our association are quite well trained. But that's the American Council of Hypnotist Examiners. But as past president, and even prior to that, I always present at the international conference every year. Of course, with COVID, we haven't done that this year. We did an online, but not a hands-on. But I'm going to show you a clip from the most recent live conference that I worked with and show you how the rapid induction actually works live and in person. So enjoy this clip. It's only about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Then I'll be back with you to do some incredible demonstrations. And at the end of this presentation, I'm going to actually teach you an amazing relaxation technique that will help alleviate a lot of stress on a daily basis. So sit tight, enjoy this clip. I'll be right back with you. Both hands together, lock your elbows out. Good. I want you to begin to focus on those arms becoming like solid bars of steel. 2 solid bars of steel that are unbreakable, unbendable, unmovable. Incredibly strong, solid bars of steel. And those hands are welded together. They're going together tighter and tighter, becoming one solid bar of steel. One solid bar of steel that cannot be pulled apart, cannot be cut apart. Incredibly strong. The only way to cut steel is with a torch, because it's so incredibly strong. Going together tighter and tighter. One solid bar of steel, incredibly strong, incredibly strong. Close your eyes down, focus on that strength. Focus on that strength. In a moment's time, I'm going to touch your hand. I'm going to go ready and sleep. When I do, you go deep asleep. It'll be like a rubber band releasing after being pulled out as tight as it can be. And you'll go 10 times deeper. You'll go so deep asleep, you'll be totally relaxed and refreshed. Ready and sleep. And as I touch you, you go deeper and relax further, and you're stuck tight to that chair. And every breath takes you deeper and deeper into relaxation. And you go deeper and relax, and you have a pleasant feeling. And you just feel wonderful as you drift away in a perfect state of relaxation. Taking a deep breath, release that breath, and release everything else, even deeper, every muscle, every nerve, every fiber, releasing and letting go. Just release yourself, floating away now till I get back to you. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that quick clip of my rapid instantaneous induction technique. It's really quite a powerful technique, and it works with people that are more challenging in getting into the hypnotic state. Now, you might think, oh, did I manhandle or hurt her when I pushed on her arms? No. I really didn't push her hard at all. I just gently pushed her, but it was my voice and suggestion combined with her imagination that made her respond so quickly and so dramatically to that technique. But yeah, again, for those that have a difficult time, they say, I can't be hypnotized or have never been hypnotized and are struggling with it, that's a great way to get them started in the process, and then they can go to the fractional on their own at home. So I hope that answers some questions you might have in your mind about what you just witnessed. It does look quite startling, and it does look very supernatural, like something out of a movie, but it's a very natural way of accessing the abilities that we have within ourselves with the self-hypnosis. Now, before we get into this, some cool demonstrations, you and I are going to do some things together, and you're going to be able to experience a little bit about how suggestion works at home. Before we get into that, though, one big question people often ask me is, what if I get stuck in hypnosis? What if I can't get out of hypnosis? Let me tell you, that's never happened. There's a lot of situations that do happen, but a trained practitioner quickly moves around those and moves you on, and there's really no risk at all. If that had happened, you'd see it on the cover of every newspaper in every country around the world and on every tabloid and tabloid news program. So no, it's very safe. You'll never get stuck in hypnosis because ultimately, even if you're doing self-hypnosis, your own mind will eventually say, hey, I'm getting tired of this. Let's come out of it. So yeah, that's what happens. Now, of course, there's people that have mental health issues that may have issues anyway, whether they're hypnotized or otherwise. But a normal, average, healthy person is never going to get stuck in hypnosis. Now, another big question people ask me always is, what was the most unusual and challenging situation that I've ever done hypnotherapy or hypnosis in? Well, here's the story. One time I was flying out of Dallas, Texas in the United States. And they have a lot of thunderstorms during certain times of the year. Well, you know, if you've ever flown through a thunderstorm, you know how crazy it is. So we were taking off out of Dallas, and thunderstorms were incredible in the clouds, and the plane was going up and down, 50 or 100 or more feet at a time, and everybody was getting pretty panicky. Now, I don't get panicked on an airline because I've flown so much. I'm not comfortable with it, but I'm not panicked either. But in any case, just a couple seats in front of me in the front seat. Now, in those days, I will tell you, I was on Southwest Airlines. They had seats that faced each other, okay? So a person would face the other person, their knees almost up against each other. And on this particular flight, on the front where those seats were, there was a husband and a wife like this, okay? The husband here, the wife here, the wife was facing forward. So I saw she was having difficulty because the flight attendant came and put a wet towel on her neck, and she had the bag, and so when the flight attendant came by my seat as the plane was going like this, I said, if the husband and wife would like me to, I would be happy to go up there and help her. I'm a hypnotherapist. If you want to ask them, he and I can switch seats. I'll face her, and it'll only take me about 3 or 4 or 5 minutes. She said, okay. So she went up and made the offer, and she came back and said, yes, they want to do it. So the plane's still going like this, right? And people have their seatbelts on, and it's kind of crazy. So I walk up the aisle, and I get to her, and I sit down opposite her. I have her look in my eyes, and I make sure that she's the one that wants to do this, because with hypnotherapy, you have to want to do it, or it's not going to happen, right? So I made sure of that, and that it wasn't just her husband saying, yeah, do this to my wife. And then I went into a quick therapy session. I did a little rapid instantaneous induction, gave her some suggestions, and in a period of a few minutes, I brought her out of the trance. And for the rest of the flight, honestly, she was drinking and laughing and having a wonderful time. And people on the flight said to me, hey, can you give me some of that? I said, no, only one time. So in any case, when we got down to the luggage area, she and her husband came to me and said, wow, thank you so much. It meant so much to be able to fly in that difficult situation and not be scared. So that was a cool thing. I mean, of course, I've done a lot of hypnotherapy with a lot of different people at the Unger group. I've worked with military people who have lost limbs and have phantom limb pain, which is really an interesting and challenging situation. I work with ladies with breast cancer, help them overcome breast cancer. And people going to surgeries. I have a friend who's a hypnotherapist that even worked with someone with an open heart surgery with nothing but hypnotherapy or hypnosis, pure hypnosis, no anesthesia at all. So I'm just telling you, it's a powerful tool, so don't believe it's not. Now, we're going to do a couple of demonstrations for you now, and I want to show you how your subconscious mind, and especially the uncritical part, is programmed from things you see and experience at a young age. There's one thing that's very universal with people, and I'm going to show you how that works right now. You're actually going to experience this sitting there watching me right now. This is a beautiful lemon. I have a lemon tree in my backyard, and it's in Southern California. We always have lemons and citrus fruit. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually cut into this lemon right now, okay? I have to watch my hands instead of the camera for the moment because I don't want to get cut. But I'm going to cut through this lemon. Wow, that is a juicy, juicy lemon. You can probably see the juice dripping down from that lemon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually start sucking on this lemon in a minute. And when I suck on this lemon, we'll see how it is. Let's see if it's very sour probably, but let me just... That is a sour lemon. Sour and bitter, actually. But I'm going to take a quick drink of water. Now, as I sucked on that lemon, I imagine most of you, your mouth started salivating, right? Started salivating and watering as I sucked on that lemon. And some of you probably even had a sour taste in your mouth, or maybe even your lips got dry during that. You see, that's an experience you had perhaps as a youth. Maybe someone gave you a lemon and you didn't expect it to be that way, or that taste. And so that's in your subconscious now, and you still respond to it involuntarily all the time. Man, that was sour, I gotta tell you. But in any case, you may now start to see how hypnosis works. You see, hypnosis can go in and he can readjust that so that you enjoy that. There's an old hypnosis demonstration using an onion. And you can actually, this was done in stage hypnosis shows in the old days. And someone would actually be given an onion while they're hypnotized, and they would believe it was an apple, and they could eat that whole onion without tearing, without any damage to them. And that's how powerful you can restructure in thinking into a positive thought versus a negative thought with hypnosis and hypnotherapy. Now, we did that one, but now what I want to do is I would like to do something where you and I work together, okay? So that you can see how quickly I can give you a suggestion, and in turn, how quickly you can respond to that suggestion if you're open to it. So I'm going to ask you right now to just be very open to doing what we're going to do, okay? And you are going to probably be very amazed how quickly you can respond to this, all right? So, in a moment, not yet now, don't do it yet, I'll tell you when, okay? But in a moment, I want you to put your hands together like so. Interlace your fingers just like this, okay? All right? Now, after you interlace your fingers like that, I'm going to have you put your index finger, don't do it yet, wait till I tell you. But I'll have you put your index fingers out about 1.5 inches, just like this, okay? Then I'll have you lock out your elbows in front of you just like that. Now, when I say ready and now, you'll find that your two fingers will start to pull together. Just like there's an invisible force pulling together closer and closer till most of you will have your fingers touch, okay? All right, now, let me explain. You have to want to do it. Remember I said with hypnosis, you have to want to do it or it doesn't work, okay? So, don't fight it or it just won't work. And which is great because that'll show you too that you can't be forced to do hypnosis. But I'm imagining all of you want to try this amazing demonstration to see how powerful your subconscious is and how quickly it can respond to suggestion and make a change. So everybody lace your fingers together like I showed you. Good. Everybody got that now? Awesome. Put your index fingers about 1.5 inches apart like I showed you. Good. Lock your elbows out. Great. Look at the space between your two fingers now. Ready? And now. Watch those two fingers start to move together. Watch they go closer, closer, closer. In a moment they'll be touching now, going a little bit closer. Almost there. A little bit closer. Great. You can pull your hands apart now and shake your hands out. Wasn't that amazing? I mean, I want to tell you that's permanently in your subconscious minds now. Anytime you try that, you will not be able to resist those fingers going together. You're always going to remember Michael the hypnotist or Mezmer the hypnotist, because that's how I have people remember my work. But amazing stuff. You see, that's how quickly we can relearn something and do something new and exciting with our minds. And in doing so, if we turn it towards our health and our well-being, we can do amazing things that can just take us to a new place. So that's an incredible demonstration. Now, I promised you all I would teach you a relaxation technique, okay? And that's my gift to you for watching my presentation. So we're going to do that in just a moment. I do need you to be sitting in a comfortable place. And also, make sure that your legs aren't crossed. This way, it helps the blood flow to the brain, makes the body function better, makes the mind function better. So sit up straight. Not so straight that you'd feel uncomfortable, but sit up straight, both feet flat on the ground, one hand on each leg, okay? You got that? Awesome. Now, the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to take your hand and put it about shoulder level, okay? Just about shoulder level, all right? Just like this. Then, what you're going to do now is you're going to start focusing on the lines in your hand, okay? The lines in your hand. So you'll hold it toward your face. You're going to focus on the lines of your hand. So let's do that. Everybody focus on the lines of your hand. I'm going to do it too with you, okay? So focus on the lines in your hand. Good. As you focus in on those lines, allow them to become blurry, not totally focused. Just let them sort of relax your eyes. Good. And follow your lifeline or one of the lines in your hand. Follow it around. Trace it with your eyes. Excellent. Now, as that becomes relaxed, you'll find that the tips of your fingers start getting a little cool feeling to them. The tips of the fingers will start getting a little cool. And as that coolness starts, it'll start running down to your palm slowly as you focus on that palm. Now imagine that coolness that's coming down from your fingers to your palm continues down your arm, down your wrist, to your elbow. Just slowly imagine that passing down now, okay? Good. Now, as that becomes cool, as your entire arm becomes relaxed and cool, the more relaxed it becomes, you can allow it to slowly start dropping. As it becomes relaxed, you follow it down to your waist. Just let it naturally do it. Don't make it happen. But imagine the coolness going all the way down to your elbow and all the way up to your shoulder now and all the way around your neck. And the hand keeps dropping, and keep focusing on that hand, dropping down. As it drops down, start closing your eyes down. Start closing your eyes down and take in a deep breath, way in. Good. And let it keep dropping, and closing your eyes down. And as it touches your leg, relax it on the leg and allow your eyes to close completely down. That's good. Take another deep breath, way in. Release that breath, let it out. Feeling more wonderful with each breath you take. Yes, feeling better and better. And as you close your eyes down, you begin to drift off. And just imagine a bright white light in your mind's eye. A bright white light. Take another deep breath. Let it out. And drift away into a perfect state of relaxation. Beautiful. In a moment, I'll count from 1 to 3 and snap my fingers. When I do, you'll open your eyes, and you will feel much more relaxed than you were just seconds ago. Take another deep breath. Let it out. Go deeper. And 1, 2, 3. Open your eyes. Open them up. That's great. That's great. Well, that technique may seem very simple, but it's a very powerful technique. You know, once we go back to interacting with people or at work, or some of you may be at work now, sometimes we deal with things or stress, and even at home with relatives or with the COVID and the relative situation. And what I always suggest is a place you can totally get privacy is in the bathroom or the loo. If you're at a place where there's a stall, go in the stall. That's a place you get total privacy. At least you should be, unless you have 5 little kids running around. But when you're in that stall or in the bathroom, then you do this technique. And once you do that technique, what it does, it stops the chemicals in the body from doing a negative reaction when you're under stress. So right as soon as you can, when say a boss comes and says, "Can you do this? Because you're not doing the job I expect." You go to the bathroom when you can, without people paying much attention, just head to the bathroom. Do this. It will stop the chemical reaction in the mind. It will stop the negativity. It'll bring it down, and it'll help you have a more productive day. You can practice this all the time. The better you get at it, the better it's going to work. It is a minor self-hypnosis technique. You're not really going into trance, but it's just enough to help those chemical reactions to become positive instead of negative. You know, I have a fantastic time with you today. It has been incredibly great to be here for this wellness conference. I'm so glad they invited me to be part of it. It's been an honor and a pleasure. And I'm sure they're going to post my information for you to contact me should you want to. I do Zoom sessions, so it's no problem if you're in Australia, if you're in Germany, if you're in England, Denmark, wherever you are, we can work together. Well, I'm hoping that what I have taught you today and the technique that you've learned will be of great help to you in the coming times, these challenging times that we're still getting out of. I'm Michael Mezmer. Have a fantastic day.